March 11, 2011, the most powerful earthquake in Japan's recorded history sent a massive tsunami toward the northeastern coast. The water erased entire towns, sweeping away roads, buildings, and nearly 20,000 lives in minutes. Further down the coast, a 15-meter wave hit the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. The facility's seawall had been designed to stop a wave only a fraction of that height. The water overtopped the defenses and cascaded into the lower levels of the turbine buildings. This flooded the plant's backup diesel generators, which were located in the basements. Within minutes, the machines drowned. This triggered a station blackout. Without the generators, Fukushima Daiichi lost all electrical power. The massive pumps required to circulate millions of gallons of cooling water through the reactor cores simply stopped. This is a cross-section of a boiling water reactor. Even after a reactor shuts down, the nuclear fuel continues to generate intense decay heat from fission products. Without the pumps forcing water through the system to carry that heat away, the stagnant water surrounding the core began boiling away, exposing the central fuel rods. While the earthquake and tsunami were unavoidable natural disasters, the catastrophe that followed was a failure of engineering, a system that could not adapt when the environment pushed past its calculated limits. Inside the pitch-black control room, engineers had no power to read their instruments. Relying on scavenged car batteries, they caught brief glimpses of the data. The cooling water was gone, and the exposed fuel cores were beginning to melt. As temperatures soared to nearly 3,000 degrees Celsius, the superheated zirconium metal surrounding the fuel pellets reacted with the remaining steam. This chemical reaction generated massive volumes of highly explosive hydrogen gas, which built up in the ceilings of the reactor buildings. The pressure eventually ignited. Over the following days, hydrogen explosions blew the roofs off 3 separate reactor buildings, launching radioactive fallout into the atmosphere. As the radioactive plume drifted inland, the Japanese government expanded the evacuation zones. Within hours, over 150,000 residents were ordered to drop everything and flee a 20-kilometer radius around the plant. The flooding of a few basement generators triggered a cascade of mechanical failures that emptied the coastline, leaving a populated region irradiated and abandoned. The exclusion zone became a landscape frozen in time. Streets sat empty, supermarket shelves rotted with merchandise, and wall calendars remained fixed on March 2011. With multiple reactors melting down, the immediate fear was mass radiation poisoning. Yet, during the initial meltdown and the chaotic days that followed, 0 people died directly from radiation sickness. But physical safety from fallout came at a steep price. Families were uprooted and packed into temporary shelters in high school gymnasiums. They lost their communities, their livelihoods, and their ancestral homes, with no clear timeline for when they could ever return. Official figures show that over 2,300 people died from indirect disaster-related causes. The primary drivers were the severe physical and mental stress of long-term evacuation, disruptions to medical care, and the deep despair of sudden displacement. Fukushima's true lethality lay in the sudden, permanent severing of the human connection to their habitat. While the human population suffered outside the barriers, a different story was unfolding in the shadows of the silent exclusion zone. Without humans around to hunt, build, or drive vehicles, local wildlife began an aggressive reclamation. Animals moved out of the forests, foraging through abandoned farmlands and taking up residence in empty human neighborhoods. Japanese macaques were spotted roaming through the asphalt streets, while species like the raccoon dog moved directly into overgrown residential yards. In the areas evacuated by humans, animal populations have surged, claiming the restricted zones as their own. These creatures are living, mating, and raising offspring in an environment where handheld dosimeters still detect ambient radiation levels considered highly dangerous by health authorities. By removing human, industrial, and residential activity, the disaster inadvertently created a thriving, accidental wildlife preserve right in the middle of a deadly fallout zone. But population counts do not tell the whole biological story. Inside the bodies of these animals, a quieter, microscopic process is taking place. It comes down to a mechanism called bioaccumulation. When radioactive particles settle into the soil, they are absorbed by plants. As herbivores eat the plants and predators eat the herbivores, those isotopes concentrate and magnify at each step up the food chain. The animals are living in a state of chronic, low-dose radiation exposure. Over successive generations, this continuous internal bombardment begins to cause documented cellular damage and genetic mutations. Scientists studying the local Japanese macaques have already measured the physical impacts. Post-disaster generations weigh less for their height, and they have measurably smaller heads and brains compared to populations born before the meltdown. While the sheer population numbers look healthy, the underlying genetic foundation of the ecosystem is being quietly compromised by the invisible poison. Despite the threat of cellular damage, the animals continue to breed, expand their territory, and live freely in the ruins. The environment's trial is far from over. Millions of tons of contaminated wastewater remain stored in over 1,000 massive tanks on the power plant's grounds, complicating the ecological future of the entire coast. We tend to view radiation as the ultimate destroyer of environments, but we have to weigh the damage of a level 7 nuclear meltdown against the everyday impact of normal human civilization, paving roads, clearing forests, and hunting species to the brink. For these species, the biological cost of chronic radiation, the mutations and the physical stuntedness, is outweighed by the benefit of a landscape without humans. In the cold math of nature, a radioactive wasteland without us provides more opportunity than a pristine habitat occupied by us. The inheritors of the fallout suggest that the human presence itself, our cars, our noise, our daily routines, is more disruptive to the natural world than the wreckage of our most catastrophic failures.